Hi everyone, I'm Malaysia from KLGadgetGuy, and today we'll be looking at the Samsung Galaxy Tab S2. Now, just about a year ago, Samsung launched its Galaxy Tab S in two different sizes, which is the 8.4-inch and the 10.5. Now, this time, Samsung has also launched two different sizes for the Samsung Galaxy Tab S2, which is the 7.9-inch and the 9.7-inch. Now, let's take a look at how it fares. Now, firstly, let's talk about looks. The first thing you would probably notice is how incredibly thin and light the new Galaxy Tab S2 is. While only 5.6mm thick and weighing only 265 grams for the 7.9-inch and the 389 grams for the 9.7-inch, the Galaxy Tab S2 is even lighter and thinner than the iPad Air 2, which is about 6.1mm thick and weighs about 445 grams. Now, the back cover of the Galaxy Tab S2 is of plastic material. However, do not think that just because it is plastic, it feels cheap. Now, the plastic feels pretty well made and sports a patterned sort of texture so that it doesn't slip out of your hands easily when you're reading, especially when you're like me who prefer to use tablets without covers. Now, one thing you will notice is the obvious reshuffling of buttons. Now, the 16:9 landscape mode button layout, which is found in the Tab S, is now gone. And now the new Tab S2 has a 4:3 screen ratio with portrait mode buttons as to make the natural orientation to be portrait. Now, I feel this is more logical since most tablet users tend to use the tablets primarily for reading and not so much as an entertainment hub after. Although at a glance, most would say it looks very much like an iPad, but there is no mistaking the oblong-shaped home button, which is definitely one of Samsung's. Now, as for what's inside, the Tab S2 is very similar to its predecessor. Now, the Galaxy Tab S2 features an Exynos 5433, which is also an octa-core processor just like the Tab S, just slightly upgraded. Now, the graphics processor has also been upgraded from a Mali T628 MP6 to a T760 MP6, although both Tab S and the Tab S2 have the same amount of RAM at 3GB. Now, as for storage, thankfully, the Galaxy Tab S2 offers a choice of either 32 or 64GB internal storage, and on top of that, expandable storage up to 128GB. Now, that's a lot of space, and I'm really glad Samsung did not make the Tab S2 into the same unibody, no micro SD support device like its smartphones. Now, all the good stuff inside is of no use if the performance does not live up to standard. So far, reading on a tablet is no problem, especially with a reading mode so your eyes don't get too strained even though you're looking at a screen. Now, watching videos is also great with such a great looking screen, but since it's of a 4:3 ratio, there will be a black bar at the top and bottom should you watch widescreen movies on a landscape mode. Now, this isn't an issue since I would rather have a tablet suited for reading than trying to read on a long 16:9 ratio tablet. Holding that kind of size would also be a little bit more cumbersome. Now, the next important thing, battery life. Now, the Galaxy Tab S2 has a smaller battery capacity compared to its predecessor. Both sizes have smaller batteries. In this case, the 7.9-inch comes with 4000 mAh battery, which is 900 mAh lesser than the older 8.4-inch. And the new Tab S2 9.7-inch comes with a 5870 mAh, which is a whopping 20-30 mAh lesser than the older 10.5-inch tablet. Now, testing it out while playing games, watching movies and reading, it could only last approximately a day and a half. This is probably the effect of having such a super thin form factor, which I wouldn't mind if only the Tab S2 had fast charging capabilities. Now, it still features the Samsung TouchWiz interface and it has the same multi-window mode. However, you do get Microsoft Office and 100GB of OneDrive space free for 2 years, which is great at the beginning for 2 years and kinda sucky after that since you are sort of coerced into paying for it since you're already using it for such a long time. Now, Samsung has also preloaded the device with some of its own apps such as Galaxy Live app, and although Samsung did mention that the Tab S2 does come preloaded with Samsung Milk Music, a radio station of sorts, I didn't find it in the devices I have here in my hands. Now, the Tab S2 that is sold in Malaysia also comes preloaded with iFlix, an app that allows movie and TV series streaming at a price of 8 ringgit per month. But in this case, if you will purchase the Galaxy Tab S2, you will get 1 year free subscription. Yay, freebies! Now, the problem lies after all these new upgrades. Now, it's a fact that the Samsung Galaxy Tab S2 feels really lightweight and thin, and when I put it in my bag, I can barely feel any weight at all. But other than that, there's really nothing much to shout about in terms of features. In fact, I feel that the Samsung Galaxy Tab S2 feels pretty similar to the Tab S. So what is the verdict? Well, for the price point, I feel it's a little bit too high, but I would have expected that since the Samsung Galaxy Tab S2 is one of Samsung's premium tablets. It's going for about 1699 ringgit for the 7.9-inch version, and as for the 9.7-inch version, it is about 1999 ringgit. Now, if you're looking for the thinnest Android tablet in the market, well, you don't have to look very far. So far, Samsung Galaxy Tab S2 is the thinnest and the lightest Android tablet in the market. However, there's nothing really innovative about this tablet other than it's thin and it's light. Well, that's about it. So, if you have anything to ask or to say about the latest Samsung Galaxy Tab S2, do drop us a comment below and we'll try to answer you if you have any queries. Well, till then, ta-da!